and shortcut the
Apbren
support system of
melawan
Bren also
OMG
always
ya guys
present.
ya.
Oh,
OMG.
wow,
Louis
Louis.
ban.
What
Yeah.
is Coach Lembot reading into? What is Snap whispering to him?
Best
Here's the thing.
crew.
There might be like a scenario where AP Bren basically
Wakil.
practiced the chip.
Fail.
And if they don't get that chip kind of
Juara
playstyle,
dunia,
maybe
guys.
they'll try to revert back to
Bren.
Aloye.
I
Lawan
mean,
OMG ya.
combine
NPL.
the already
PH.
present heroes, right? The Roger with the
Yeah.
flanking, the Baksha with the Baksha Unite, the Masha just running at you from an odd angle.
Yeah.
These are all things that you're afraid of, all the more with a chip, with a Luyi.
That's right. They're also great for tower dives. Like if you go at the back behind the tower, those bushes behind the tower, very difficult for these heroes to instantly die there with invulnerability for the Roger. And then,
Yep.
of course, Masha always, gets away.
Yep.
I
These three
hope.
picks from AP Bren feel bad when you're playing a Novaria. So, I understand why Nova's not on the board right now.
Yeah, and I think they really might want to try to answer right now just how much aggressive these picks coming in from AP Bren are right now. They literally would want to go in and just bump into everyone. I think two heroes here literally bump into the opponents. It's the Baksha and the ultimate coming in here from the Masha.
Thunderclap.
The thunderclap that can right now be at least used 3 times, or at most be used 3 times if you give him the opportunity. So that's another scary thing to think about. It even if we don't see the mage for AP Bren yet, I think even just the thunderclap can deal a huge amount of damage to the Firaga armor that Smart Omega can actually rely on eventually in the game. But speaking of taking out the Firaga armor, there's
Wow.
so much damage right now from AP Bren.
Explosiveness all around for the bees.
I hate to be Lewis right now. Lewis has a lot to think about. And I think this does confirm the role Masha.
We can make it guys.
Oh, that's so okay. If we were the damage dealers here for Smart Omega, I just can't imagine how
Kita
terrifying it would
nonton
be
ya,
to
guys,
watch
ya.
out for Ogwen.
Palumar,
Not
Apbren.
sure if he'll be picking up the dire hit as well, but the moment he gets his hands on the
Masalah guys.
the blade of the Heptaseas, that's a lot of damage you're supposed to expect from him.
Yeah, and if you get
And that's
there,
a roamer.
That's a roamer.
That's a roamer.
Exactly. He has so much freedom right now, right? With his lineup to go anywhere he wants, and he is not in danger of actually just disappearing, getting bursted down. That's risky for Omega.
And again, the best kind of peel you have, it's a stop click. You're immune from damage every time you lose an HP bar. The answer from Smart Omega. They close their draft up with a Grok. Again, with the threats from AP Bren coming from all directions, you need a stopgap. You need that wall. You need that wild charge. We've seen RSG in the game number 2 of the first series of tonight do magic with it.
Insane. 86%.
Oh, look at this audience
Lucky
prediction, man.
hero.
14%. Stalwart believers in the Bagong Barangay. The rest of them, fans of AP Bren, or just, again, just realistic fans. They know that AP Bren, they're not gonna pull any punches.
I mean, if we all look at the stats and the previous or the history of these teams, it's almost written like this is what the audience would most likely expect. But again, this is a chance for the Bagong Barangay to prove themselves, and they're starting to show us some new combinations in their lineup. So we'll see where this is going to take the Bagong Barangay. But up to where can this bring them up against the world champions?
3.
Up to where?
Hey, Bren,
Folks, this is where
I'm-
you sound off. Let us know. Do you think AP Bren gonna take this or Smart Omega? Because I'm thinking if there's any time that Omega can win, it's this time. It's
This
because
should
AP
be it.
Bren introduced so many new aspects into the metagame in a single draft alone.
Yeah, maybe this is something they can take advantage of, right? So, big question marks here
Oh
being
my.
thrown all over.
That's so annoying. You see that?
Oh,
man.
Ogwen just stood there.
No one can deal with him, man.
Oh yeah, and it's good to see how Mark is trying to apply the same amount of pressure. He actually denied Kaltizi from immediately securing that purple buff. But again, I think now we have to pay attention to what Ogwen might just be doing all around the map. If we were to see a heat map of Ogwen later on, I couldn't say just where would he be in the first 5 minutes of the game, because we're starting to see how much he really wants to distract the jungler, and to think that he picked up the assassin emblem.
That's right.
The fatal. You could already imagine he's definitely going for the damage.
Alongside Swift.
Yeah, whoever is isolated here by this Masha, I don't envy that guy. He's gonna have trouble.
Or girl in the
Or
case
girl.
of Ryle. That's a Valentina
That's right.
there.
That's right.
Or whatever Grok identifies as. But here we go. Talking about just how strong AP Bren's lineup is at splitting up Omega. I'm surprised Ogwen didn't even go for Jome yet. Big J, that's the worst target.
Yeah, well, he actually did try to start out and show himself,
Happy
but then we all know
Happy
how
Bren.
kind of
Apbren,
handy
really,
the
Apbren,
Fredrin
IMG.
also is in the first few or in the early
Oh,
bits of the
IMG,
game.
what
And they
Happy
are both
Bren.
junglers at least. They just got their level 4 at the same time. So right now we just might be seeing some action here in the XP lane. But both teams are
Ooh.
very and extra careful because this is the possible fight prior to the first turtle.
Yeah, the big advantage, obviously, of Omega is they're also very tanky early
no.
game here. But everyone
Oh,
left Ryle out.
yeah,
I was so surprising how far behind he was left. Lewis and Matt couldn't do anything.
I think Ryle understood the assignment as well. Didn't even have any time to press flicker right there.
MPL,
He knew.
Filipina rin
It
siya.
was impossible to get
Ako
out,
rin
but
ang
right now the
copy.
pressure coming from AP Bren, taking control of this turtle pit. They really want to get this for themselves.
Turtle at half health. Flapteasy
Alright.
holding the flank.
Okay.
Kataeasy jumping in.
He's floating. He's floating. He's waiting for the retribution. Matt gets it though. That's going to go over to Omega. And it looks like because of Flapteasy's presence, they won't force the fight, but they will
Mark.
find Mark. Nowhere to go.
All right. If there's any jungler out there that knows the breadth and the depth of a Baksha in a turtle dance, in a lord dance, it's Sir Matt. It's
Sir
Matt
Matt.
Zilla. Won Season 12 Rookie of the Season by playing in barely 3 weeks of competition. He did it with this hero. He did it with Baksha, so he understands what Kataeasy was doing.
Yeah, and it was commendable for Omega as well to actually pursue that turtle, knowing that they lost one member, knowing that Ryle eventually or actually fell right before that turtle. But right now, that first objective taken here by Smart Omega definitely will be or will give them a lot of advantages as well as somehow quite the confidence.
Uh-oh.
But it seems like Bren, they're also confident as well.
Yeah, and again, that's basically Bren Esports. AP Bren just maximizing their early game advantage of the Masha
Oh no, Big
with
J!
Kyle Teasy looking
Oh.
for Jome here. Obviously not going to find him. Big J being a
Anjay.
very careful player.
Mas go, guys.
Actually, and this is what I think we could be comparing Jome and West in terms of the laning. I think
Roger,
this is where
guys.
we can compare them best because it's Jome who's
Roger,
been showing us
Anjay.
the very aggressive manner of controlling the lane. And to imagine, this is the kind of situation we're seeing, even though he's a Claude and he's up against the Roger, which is typically the lane bully in this kind of situation, but he's managing it pretty well.
I mean, not just in the laning phase, even in big team fights, Jome is likely to pick fights. And he's not afraid to trade blows with not just Super Marco, but even Ogwin.
That's right. Even that Thunderclap right now, obviously not doing as much damage as it should yet.
You're not sending me home, man.
Yeah.
I'm on a mission. I want to farm.
Still got the ability to basically hold out on the goal.
I want to close this gap. This is a manageable gap between them at the 4-minute mark, about 600, 700,
Pretty close.
ballooning up to 900.
Wow.
Oh no.
That was a beautiful engage. Or
guys.
it seems like Flapteasy really waited for that opportunity. It was right before the turtle, and he nearly took out the Firaga armor. But right now, Flapteasy this time, will he be able to secure it against Smart Omega?
That's a big question. Now
Oh,
Kaltizi
Matthew,
could
Matthew,
play it a bit more
Matthew.
aggressively, but Matt basically
Good.
sidesteps here.
Matthew,
Gonna be
oh.
fighting off against 3 members of AP Bren.
Oh.
Not gonna be able to survive long with
Matthew,
Ogwin
guys.
very, very deep here. No retribution
Matthew.
means that's gonna be an AP Bren turtle.
Oh wow, Mark using the Cyclone Eye to its maximum range, just dashing right through that wall. And now
Wow.
Kyle Teasy. Wow, he
Wait, guys.
understands the situation. He knows 2K ahead AP Bren is.
Yeah. I actually remember Reptar Ramble's recent episode where he kind of like considered the Masha a somewhat of a glass cannon type of hero as well. If you actually get to take out at least your target, then that's all that matters. But in this situation where Omega still lacks the damage to actually take him out immediately, that might just be a problem. And June was moving.
Ogwin looks like he was flying with the
Grabe
thunderclap
yan,
right now.
guys.
Although Kyle Teasy knock up, he's in danger, and down goes the Appraiser's Wrath, taking out the jungler of AP Bren. Now it's going to be
2 for
Omega
2.
getting 2 kills here for Sir Matt.
That's a decent trade. I'd say Smart Omega made the most of a
Grabe
losing
yan,
situation. And yes,
Ati yellow.
Big J dying here this early on,
Ati ako
not a
yakin,
good
guys.
move. But
Gusto mo
hey,
lang, guys.
Smart Omega are managing this gold lead, and they're managing their waves. But just as I say, man, Flap Easy, making it work. Making it happen down bot.
Well, I mean, I think that Omega would want to capitalize on their capabilities to actually be just as confident whenever AP Bren tends to overextend. I mean, they're all in terms of their lineup whenever Super Marco engages, as well as Ogwen. And if they find no way out and you already have the necessary damage, you can actually turn things around. But this might just be another target for Omega, and
Whoa.
that's Molina's passive, or the
Watch
Molina's
out.
passive out for Pew.
Oh, good spotted.
Oh, they know that all these ultimates are already used up here, and Ogwen just doing just so much work here, making sure that he can absorb so much damage here from Omega and still be able to go back into the fight. Gets a double for that Masha.
As messy as it is, these are the kind of situations that AP Brent's lineup flourish in. This is where they call it home. And just as the turtle spawns, they walk away from that 2 for none with a massive lead.
Almost
5K
perfectly timed.
5K now at almost 7 minutes.
If you're the frontliners here for Smart Omega, it's a very difficult situation for you. You either receive the jabs from FlapTZ, or you receive the damage here from Ogwen, or even just the bullets when Super Marco decides not to transform yet. That deals a lot of damage on you when you still have a lot of HP left. So you're starting to feel just how beautiful this lineup is from AP Bren in terms of shredding the tanky heroes of Smart Omega and eventually reaching the backlines, the damage dealers. And they're starting to feel that pressure right now.
At this rate, no one from Omega counts as a frontliner.
No,
The way AP Bren just leans hard on their early game aggression. Look at this. The items picked up. There's a Hunter Strike. Hunter Strike and Malefic Roar. Dear Lord. All the penetration on Flap right now. Genius Wand and Lightning Tranche on Few. Again, maybe you could argue Kyle TZ is the only one who isn't really the one who shreds. But his ult denies all healing.
And even Open, he did pick up
Teka
immediately
dulu, guys.
Blade of the Heptasy. So you could imagine the damage that they can actually surprise Omega with. So they're kind of locked down right now, or it's kind of difficult to find or to spot a single player in the lineup of Smart Omega. It's best if they actually try to group up together at this point, but in the same way that they'd want that, I feel like AP Bren isn't afraid with this much of a gold lead to engage them even when they're all together as well.
No way.
Gimenta,
This can't be
Masha,
true. Not a
Gimenta.
single time between season 10, 11, and 12 did we see Masha. Because the last time she saw play was when Smart Omega went in for their grand finals run in SMX in season 9, the playoffs, where Renzio, previously of Smart Omega, scored a Savage. That far back?
Pretty iconic that it makes a comeback here in this game against them.
That was prior the dozen of buffs Masha
Exactly.
received.
The showstopper. It's been that long.
Been that long, bro.
Oh, wow.
All right, 9 minutes in. AP Bren working with a 7K gold lead here. Not much on the board yet for Smart Omega. They're making the most of the open map because AP Bren have, again, with the due decision making, right, with the right processing, allows for them to just slowly work out parts of the map now. Top lane, Jom hasn't left. Jom's never left top lane.
Right now, Omega, definitely, they're just trying to at least take some trades. So they went for the cross map, or at least wanted to get that turret away from AP Bren, but even that was denied by the Hive. So with this Lord, or at least this level 1 Lord that they have, it wouldn't be a surprise if they actually decide to take out all the outer turrets. But to think of the wave clear that Smart Omega has, they might actually be able to manage because they have the X-Borg as well as the Claw of the Blazing to it. So it just really it will just really matter on how they... Oh, even without the Lord, they were able to take out the outer turrets already.
Yeah, they don't seem to be lacking any damage whatsoever. Every single member here of AP Bren ready to roll as long as Omega lets them. And now, that's a big question. Will Omega let them with the Lord up on top? The bottom and the mid will be very difficult to defend.
I mean, yes, Omega can clear wave well, but AP Bren has so much damage. Look at this.
Yeah, they're exploding right now with damage.
Oh, they were able to take down the Lord though. But they might just be trying to hold on really well on this inhibitor turret. They don't want to let it go.
That is a gigantic siege minion.
Man, oh man.
All right, so here's the thing, right? Yeah, can agree. There's a Valentina, there's an X-Borg. You got the basics on a relatively well-suited up Claude. But think about this. They're all either close range to mid-range
Yep.
attack spells. They all have to be in some way, shape, or form close to AP Bren to even think of defending. And now look at this, they're in trouble. They might lose his inhibitor.
Yeah, and with the poke skier coming in from Super Marco, whenever he's on long range, it makes it so easy for AP Bren to just chip away at these turrets.
Yeah, literally chip away at these turrets and these members of Omega as well. To think that AP Bren, they don't have that one big explosive setup potential in any of their heroes right now. They're literally just gradually approaching whoever they can see or spot from the members of Smart Omega, but they're still able to do all this pressure.
Go!
Activated here is going to be Last Insanity by Louise. Barely makes anything.
Oh, wow.
Kyle Teasy, and all that results is the turret going down, and Flap Teasy working on bottom as well.
All right, it went from worst to bad. All right, like they could have lost so much more, but Smart Omega kept their discipline. They kept their decision making on point and said, you know what, we just clear the wave, we back off, and then we get the farm that's coming in. That's key here. They get the farm that's coming in. So far, Smart Omega, for the first time in a while, they've actually left their base.
Yes, but that was actually also Smart Omega being very careful. We saw Ryle immediately pressing the flicker, or as he just saw Ogwen approaching, even if he was far away. So the threat of the distance of the thunderclap is that much, forcing Ryle to immediately use that flicker. So that's a major resource as well that AP Bren knows is currently down for Omega, and this might just be another free Lord that will go into their hands.
Here we go. Omega on the tail. AP Bren going for the Lord Blitz, down to less than half health.
Yeah, that's a big area that Omega cannot enter right now. And AP Bren, they're making sure that the wall or the way is shut. Flap TZ on the side, making sure he can maybe assassinate Jome or Louise. And there's just no answer for Omega. Mark, he went a little too far there. And now it's Super Marco who was blitzing in the front lines.
And the shutdown forced the flicker from Mark. They do take a Flap TZ. 1-for-1. AP Bren gets the Lord.
That was a well-timed wild charge coming in here from Mark, but will they be able to find another answer? They might just not be able to. Right now, AP Bren, they're being extra careful, and all the while everything was happening, they were still able to secure the Lord either way. So even with that loss, it was still a win for them, because right now, they have a Lord that's approaching the top lane for Smart Omega.
Here we go. Mid lane inhibitor still standing. Ogwen welcoming the Lord into Omega's base. Last Insanity popped early, clearing the wave.
Yep, no splits available yet for AP Bren as the minions have not arrived yet. So that gives Omega some leeway to maybe just get back on the field. They can still walk out of their base at this point.
All right, good news, bad news. AP Bren are still in the lead. They have good control of the map. Bad news is, hold up.
Yeah. That's going to be Kyle TZ up on front. Of course, Few and Flap TZ, Super Marco, very close by. So Omega knows they can't fight this. But look at where Ogwen is. He has been non-stop pushing that lane.
He's just holding it hostage.
Right now, it's going to be a dive-in by the roamer of AP Bren. No one can really stop this guy unless maybe Jome with a... Oh my god, I think he has some damage, but it's just being juggled around by the AP Bren members.
All right, there's 4 members of AP Bren, 3 from Omega. They're just clearing the waves. Jome just pushing them out. BMI just missing. Fuse ult, they're still alive.
And there's some damage from the Blazing Duet, right? So Jome probably can do something.
It's some damage, yes.
And he was lucky to not be the recipient of 1 out of 2 consecutive thunderclaps that Ogwen was able to do right before he went down. And to think that he was able to take down 2 members from Omega, not just 1, that was already huge for AP Bren. That was the moment they were able to finally take that inhibitor turret.
Okay, I'd hate to count the eggs before they hatch. But Brigida, Rockhart, could this lineup from Smart Omega, ang bagong barangay, the Neos plus Big J lineup, be the lineup that ushers in a new Omega timer? Could this be it? We were just waiting, right? And Jome didn't die, and Jome was putting on some damage. Maybe they can turn this around.
Yeah, they're also doing better than some other teams right now who have basically succumbed to a 12-minute AP Bren game.
True.
So,
and 11K gold lead.
That's right. They're lasting.
They're holding on.
Holding.
Somehow. And they have the setup potential that can actually capture a lot of members from AP Bren, unlike their lineup right now, which again, we've seen they mostly really go for the sandwich plays, or they really just want to surround the members here of Smart Omega and limit the places where they can go. But for this upcoming Lord rather, that AP Bren is currently eyeing, I feel like Omega might just want to gradually attempt to actually take or get some information. They used the magic sentry already, but it might just not be as easy for them to approach or get near, but they will.
Brigida, this might be a little too dangerous. I would have said, I disagree. Omega should just let the Lord come in. They can't fight this. Not right now, but wait, Apbren looks like they want to dance.
Yeah, they're going to be definitely trying. What Omega doesn't know is where Flap TZ is right now. They can only guess. And right now, it is going to be Ral on the side. Joe very far behind here.
Win.
Omega, Matt, and Mark very deep in enemy territory. He's under the Lord. They're making this a 50-50 right now. And, of course, that's going to be the kill going over to the goal laners. That's 2 down for Omega.
Oh no, Jom! Almost gets caught. I told you it was too dangerous to dance with Apbren at this point.
Well, I did say get some information at least, but that situation was very difficult and dangerous for them as well. It seems like when they actually got the information, Jom and the rest of the members or the damage dealers did not decide to pursue it any longer. They also went away the moment they saw Ogwen. So they left 3 members of Smart Omega in that Lord pit alone, and eventually that led into 2 members down for them. Fortunately, they will be able to spawn right before the Lord approaches their base, but that is considered to be quite a loss for them this time.
Luis!
Oh, Luis can't even last with that Faraga armor now. And that's going to be turret falling for Omega.
Oh, look at Apbren. They're perfectly sinking the waves. Big wave up top from Ogwen, and that Lord in mid. This could be the last defense. The Guardian's Barrier by Marked. Delaying possibly the inevitable as Kyle TZ rolling around.
Yep. All eyes on Ogwen right now, who seemed to be the target of few. He got demolished. He disappeared from the map. And now it's going to be Luis with the last insanity here for this game. As Ogwen is on the back foot. Can barely do no wrong.
Apbren take game number 1. Just shy of an 18-minute victory. And the Barangay still struggle to find their identity.
Well, that was longer than how teams would have typically faced against Apbren, but
That's true.
still